What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake, and today we'll be continuing chapters 4 through 6 of I Could See a Sanitized Fanfic by ariww19. Today we'll be beginning with chapter 4, and if you'd like to follow along in the book, I left the link to both the book and the author's Wattpad in my description below. So if you'd like to check that out, please do. And without further ado, chapter 4. I'm finally back at school today. I've been home for a little over a week, but at least I didn't get behind on anything. Logan's been bringing my homework to me every day after school. At home, he didn't have to, but he said he doesn't mind. "I'll see you after school," I tell my mom before walking out the door. "Have a nice day, honey," she tells me. After putting my headphones, I make the 5-minute walk to school. The guys should be waiting for me. As I approach the building, people start staring at me and whispering to each other. I see the guys and walk over to them, asking if everyone knows about what happened. "Yeah, nothing interesting really happens in the school, so when you puked up black blood, it freaks some people out. Everyone wants to know what's wrong with you. Hell, even I want to know," Roman exclaims. "Nothing's wrong with me, really," I tell them. They give me a look that clearly says they didn't believe me. "I'm serious, nothing's wrong with me, at least not that what every doctor I've been to has told me. Also, what I threw up wasn't blood. No one knows what it is," I explain to them as we walk inside. Patton asks if this happens often. I tell him the truth, that it happens every few months. Logan comments on how strange it is, and I agree. The bell rings, and so Roman and I make our way to class. We walk into the room to find Mr. Barnes and a few other students. "Virgil," he says when he sees me. I approach him while Roman takes a seat. "Yes, Mr. Barnes? Did you need something?" I ask, walking over to him. He nods in a monotone voice and says, "I want to see you after school." When I ask what the reason is, he just tells me to take a seat. "Did I do something?" No way. I haven't done anything to get in trouble since I came here. Still, it must be important. I've never heard him speak like that to anyone. I try using soul search, but I can't see anything. Wait. I can't see anything. I always see something, no matter who I'm looking at, and no matter what they attempt to hide. I always see something. After a minute of trying to see something in him, I turn my attention to the people around me. I could see. So it's not something wrong with soul search. Roman, for example, is distracted by something bothering him. He's been this way since I met him. I could see he feels betrayed. I've always wanted to ask him about that, but I haven't yet. It's really none of my business. At the end of class, I tell Roman I'll see him later, and I head to my second period math. After walking inside, I hand in the homework from the past week. I take my seat and make myself forget about Mr. Barnes. I'll deal with him later. Right now, I need to pay attention. Mr. Corbin, my math teacher, starts going on about today's lesson. First, he explains what we're doing. Then he does a few problems with us, and lastly he gives us a worksheet to do till the end of class. A couple minutes before the bell rings, he assigns tonight's homework. The bell finally rings, so I gather my things. When I stand up and turn around, I notice Ethan watching me. Ever since the day at lunch, I could see he knows that I saw through his act. I know who he really is, but he seems oddly relieved. Ignoring him, I just head to my next class. Nothing really interesting happens during 3rd or 4th period. The bell rings and I leave and head out to the usual table I eat lunch at. I'm the first one to get there, so I just pull out my lunch and eat while I wait for the others. "Hey, gay!" a voice calls out. Immediately I roll my eyes, but then someone grabs my shoulder. As soon as I feel them make contact with my shoulder, I abruptly stand up. Without hesitation, I turn around and punch the guy, Michael, in the face before pushing him to the ground. His friends step in, and each one is trying to hit them. Ethan and the other, one of his friends, grab me next, but I only push them away because I know they aren't trying to attack me. "Don't touch him!" a voice yells. Not at me, though. At Michael and his friends. I look back to find the owner of the voice and find Mr. Barnes. "Virgil, go to my class. Now," he tells me. This is bad. When doing as he says, I grab my bag and notice my friends staring at me, but I quickly leave. I had hoped they wouldn't see me like this. When I reach my history class, I walk in and slam the door behind me. Damn it, I say angrily and throw my bag on my desk. So much for keeping my promise to Mom, not to mention that my friends might actually be afraid of me now. Sitting at my desk, I lean on the top and look out of the large windows. Virgil? A voice says from the doorway. What, Roman? I ask, not looking at him. Are you okay, Virgil? Patton asks after the three of them sit down in the desks around me. Why did they have to do that? I warned them. I told them not to touch me. I say more to myself than them. They're all idiots, Roman says. I laugh a little bit and finally look at them. Logan is the one who asks me about why I can't touch people. I shake my head at this question and sit straight up. I can touch people, but they can't touch me. Not without me letting them, anyway. I explain to them. They're all wondering if it has to do with something bad done to me. I could see that you want to know why. To answer the question, I know you're all thinking, no, nothing traumatic happened to me. Believe it or not, I've been like this since I was born. I continue explaining. I tell them how dangerous it has always been for people to just touch me because of how I always react. Boys, Mr. Barnes says, walking inside, I need to speak to him alone. You three should head back to lunch. They all tell me that they'll see me later and leave the room. Mr. Barnes closes the door behind him before walking over to me. I still can't see anything when I look at him. Nothing at all. You can keep trying, but it's not going to work, he tells me. What? The black liquid was a dead giveaway, he adds. The black liquid? What is he talking about? Fed up with him beating around the bush, I tell him to just tell me what he's talking about. You can see. As can I, he tells me. Wait, you have soul search? I ask, standing up. He laughs a little bit, asking, Is that what you call it? I explained to him how my grandma and I named it together. My family refers to it as soul looker. I think I like yours better, he tells me with a smile. This is so cool. My grandma was the only other person I knew that had it. So, what did you mean by the black liquid was a dead giveaway? He tells me that there isn't enough time to explain it right now because the bell was soon to ring. I ask him if I could still see him after school and he nods. He also tells me not to worry about the incident with Ethan and his friends. I'll take care of it. Go head back to your friends, he says. After thanking him, I grab my stuff and leave the room to head back to the table I always sit at. As soon as I leave the room, I notice my friends waiting for me. Were you guys listening in? I ask. I told them not to, Logan says. It's fine. Did you guys actually hear anything? I ask, looking at Roman and Patton. They both shake their heads, and I could see they're telling the truth. I could see you guys want to ask. Go ahead, I tell them. Patton asks what we've talked about and if I got in trouble. I've never really told anyone about Soul Search. I did tell Caleb, though. He wanted to talk to me about what I'd thrown up. He might have an idea of what it is. I tell them the half-truth. Our history teacher has an idea about what it is? Didn't you say that even doctors couldn't figure it out? Roman questions. What if I tell them and they think I'm crazy or something? Do you guys want to come over after school? My mom wants to meet you guys, I say, changing the subject. I can see they're curious, but they let it be. We'd love to. Let's meet up after school, Patton says with a smile. Actually, I have something to do right after school, but I'll text you guys when I'm done. I explain and they nod. When the bell rings, we each go to our classes. The rest of my day is rather boring. As soon as the final bell rings, I quickly gather my things and head straight to the history class. Mr. Barnes is working on something when I walk in and wait by the door. Sorry about that, he says after a few minutes of me waiting. It's fine. Now, what can you tell me about Soul Search? I ask as I set my bag on one of the desks. What did you mean by the black liquid was a dead giveaway? First thing you need to know is that Soul Search, as you call it, is a genetic trait. That said, everyone in your bloodline, mine and likely others, have had it since birth. Most grow out of it, though, usually around 8 years old. It's stronger than some, though, and for That means they also have the ability to cleanse people's souls. Soul cleanse. Few of us have this ability. Like me, I do not have it. My sister does, though. The black liquid represents the negative feelings that people have. The reason you can't stand people touching you is because when they do, you draw on their negative feelings. More so if you aren't the one to initiate contact. The black liquid is your body getting rid of them, he explains to me. You sure of all this? How? I ask. He explains to me that his family's been studying soul search for generations now. Then he asks how often I puke it up, and I tell him the truth. Thought so. After a while, it builds up in your body, and it isn't meant to hold it in. He finishes explaining. How do you use soul search? What I mean is, does it work when you only look at someone directly? He asks, and I nod. We could work on that, he says with a smile. Ask what he means, so he tells me that with practice I'll be able to sense the souls around me as well. Wait, that's actually what we're seeing? Souls? Like spiritual go to heaven or hell souls? I ask him. Well, I don't know about the heaven and hell thing, but yeah, they're souls, he tells me. Weird, but okay. I have to go, but thanks, I say as my phone beeps. We say our goodbyes, and I head out to where my friends say they're waiting. Chapter 5. Thanks for waiting, guys, I say, jogging over to them. When we get to the street, I tell them that it's only a 5-minute walk. I keep thinking about Mr. Barnes and what he told me about soul search. Mostly the fact that what we see is actual souls. I wonder what he thinks the different colors mean. Light blue, dark blue, pink, dark pink, yellow, orange, red, green, purple, gray, and black. Grandma told me that they represent what a person is feeling or thinking. Light blue is neutral, dark blue is sadness, pink is love, dark pink is passion, yellow is happiness, orange is confusion, red is anger, green is disgust, purple is fear, black is ill intentions or malice, gray is where it kind of gets weird. It represents a numbness, when someone just becomes numb to their feelings. Usually people's souls are a mixture of different colors. Virgil, did you hear anything we just said? Logan asked, scratching the back of my neck. I didn't. I admit that I didn't. We were talking about what we were going to do this weekend, Pennon explains. Mind if we have company? Caleb is visiting from Florida, I tell them. They tell me it's fine and ask if there's any special reason. Not really, just wanted him here on my birthday, I say nonchalantly. It's your birthday this weekend? Pennon exclaims. Yeah, anyways, we're here, I say, walking up to my door. I don't really make a big deal about my birthday. After unlocking it, we walk inside where I could smell something burning. Mom? I call out. I walk into the kitchen to see my mom pulling out some cupcakes from the oven. What the hell? How did you manage to burn those? I ask in amusement. She explains that after she put them in the oven, she went to sit on the couch and fell asleep. When I start laughing, my mom glares at me. Sorry, these are the guys I told you about, I say, gesturing to my friends. Oh, I'm Diana. It's great to finally meet you guys, she says to my friends. While they introduce themselves, I throw away the burnt cupcakes. Mom, because I love you, I'm begging you to stop trying to cook, I say, which makes everyone laugh. My mom takes them into the living room while I put my phone on the charger. I walk back into the living room and find my mom showing them baby pictures. Nope, not looking at those, I say, grabbing the photo album. They all laugh. We all talk until my mom gets a phone call. She leaves the room while me and the guys continue talking. After a few minutes, my mom comes back holding her purse. I'm sorry, honey, I have to head back to the hospital, she says. She hands me $20, kisses my forehead, and says goodbye to everyone before heading out. Your mom is, really nice, Roman says, while pulling out his homework. The rest of us follow suit and pull out our homework. How do I sense people's souls without looking directly at them? Mr. Barnes said it was possible, but how? I close my eyes and try to focus my soul search around me. Nothing happens, and I consider giving up. One more try. After taking a deep breath, I focus on soul search, and then focus on those around me. I can see. My friend's souls are a mixture of light blue and yellow. Yes! I say out loud. I open my eyes and see my friends looking at me. Roman asked me what I was excited about after I apologized for interrupting their concentration. Should I tell them? Do you guys believe in the existence of souls? I ask with curiosity. Each of them says that they never really thought about it before. Logan then asked why I was asking. If they did exist and you had the ability to read them, would you tell anyone? They all take a minute to think about it before answering. My family and close friends, maybe. I wouldn't blurt it out to anyone, though. They think I was crazy, Roman says. The other two say kind of the same thing. I could see they want to know why I asked such a random question, but I don't say anything else. Instead, I turn my focus back to my homework. I really like them, but I'm not going to tell them. At least not until I can fully trust them. Last thing I need is for me to tell them and they tell everyone else. I'm not ashamed of soul search, but I also know what happened if people start to think I'm crazy. They'll put me in a mental hospital like they tried to do with my grandma. I guess I can't really blame them, though. They just don't understand soul search, and people tend to naturally fear what they don't understand. Oh well. I can't wait to see Caleb this weekend. It was hard to leave him behind, but it was for the best. I need something to drink, I say, standing up. When I reach the kitchen, I call for the others and ask if they're thirsty. They each say yes in their own ways, so I walk to the fridge and pull open the door. I grab 4 water bottles and set them on the counter. Before I close the fridge, I grab string cheese for each of us. After grabbing the drinks, I head back into the living room. Here, I say, tossing a bottle of cheese to each of them. Then I sit back down with my own. We all sit in a comfortable silence for almost an hour before I finish my homework. My phone rings in the room, so I pack up my finished homework and take a bag with me. I set my bag down on my bed and walk over to the desk and grab my phone. I pick it up and see my dad's caller ID. Hey, what's up? Hey, Verge, just calling to check in and to let you know I'm coming home this weekend. You're in the States? Yeah, I'm in Oregon. I didn't want to jinx it, but I'm finally moving my practice back to the States. Well, that's awesome, Dad. It'll be great to see you after so long. Visiting you in London was fun, but not easy. It was hard leaving you behind, but Selena and I need a fresh start. Somewhere far away, but we've decided it was a good time to move back to the States. Yeah, I understand. Is Selena coming with you? Yes, and her, and Brianna. Does Brianna have to come? She's 12, of course she has to come. So, Verge. It's just that I like Selena. She's nice, but Brianna's a brat. She's your sister. Technically my half-sister, but fine. Don't expect me to be nice if she isn't. Fair enough. I'll see you this weekend, Verge. Love you, son. I love you too, Dad. With Dad coming, that means I'm gonna have to give up my calm birthday I usually have, especially Selena and Brianna are coming. Selena's really nice, and I even told her about Soul Search a couple years ago. She didn't laugh or say I was making it up for attention like Brianna did. It makes me wonder how Brianna became such a brat. My phone's charged, so I take it back with me to the living room where the others are waiting. For the next hour, we hang out in the living room just talking about different subjects. At some point of what our dreams after high school pops up. I really want to open my own bakery, Patton says excitingly. I can see that happening. I'd like to become a teacher. Logan adds, I think he'd be a really good teacher. He's already a tutor. I want to work in the theater. That would be a dream come true, Roman says with a dreamy look in his face. What about you, Verge? Patton asks. Not sure. I'd like to open a bookstore cafe. Doesn't really matter to me, though. I'm just gonna be happy with a job. I tell them truthfully. I don't have plans for after high school, at least not yet anyway. I'm still a junior, so I have some time to figure it out. Do you have any plans for your birthday? Patton asked after a few minutes of silence. Unfortunately, my dad is coming down from Oregon with his wife and my half-sister. We're all likely going to go out somewhere or just order some takeout and watch some movies. I explain after taking a minute to think. Unfortunately? Roman asked with a smirk. I love my family, including my sister, but having Brianna here might be a pain. I've got an idea. Why don't you guys come over? You can meet my dad and Caleb while simultaneously saving me from that demon, I say with a hopeful smile. We'd love to, Logan says for all of them. Thank the gods, I say, leaning back with my hand on my chest. That bad? Roman asks, laughing a little. Yes, it's that bad. Brianna could be the most annoying little brat you've ever met. A few weeks ago, I went to visit my dad in London on my birthday. It was great to see him and Selena, and even though she's always pissed me off, I still tried to be nice to Brianna. She tried to ruin my birthday. That's not me being overdramatic. She accidentally pushed my cake onto the floor, tried telling Selena and my dad that I was bullying her, screamed her head off about the restaurant I wanted to go to until I just told her to pick the place, made me break my phone at the time by sneaking up behind me while I was on the balcony leaning on the railing. She screamed so loudly that my phone dropped from my hand and fell to the second floor. Then she told my dad that I dropped it on purpose. Despite all of that, she's still my family, so I try not to make it personal. Besides, she only wants the same amount of attention she believes I get. That I can always see. Believe me when I say demon, I say after telling them about that day. Once the others finish with their homework, we sit around the living room to watch Netflix. My living room is the perfect size. We have one brown 2-seat couch with end tables on either side. We also have a large brown love seat. Logan and Patton cuddle up in the love seat while Roman and I share the couch. Have you guys watched the show Criminal Minds? I ask. Rowan and Patton say they haven't, but Logan says it's one of his favorite shows. After a brief description from Logan of what the show is, I ask if they like to check it out. When they nod, I go to the first episode. I've already watched the first 12 seasons at least 3 times, so I don't mind. Patton gets emotional through some episodes and scared through others. I offer to change it, but he says he actually likes it. It's really interesting, he says, snuggling up to Logan. Chapter 6. We get through most of the first season when I get a weird feeling. My whole body tenses up and I grip Roman's hand that was not far from mine. Are you okay? He asks loud enough that only I could hear him. When someone has ill intentions, they give off a distinctive aura. Additionally, each person's souls give off a unique aura. No two are the exact same. This aura isn't one I've felt before, which means I've never met them. I'll be right back, I tell him with a smile. He nods, so I stand up and walk into my hallway. My mom's room is the first door on the left, and mine is the second floor on the right. The first door on the right is the main bathroom. It has a window, so I check inside there first and double-check the window. After that, I led into my mom's room to check her window and master bathroom. Then I make my way to my room, but find nothing. My window is still locked as well. That aura is gone, so I guess is that it was either a fleeting emotion or someone passing by. I breathe a breath of relief. Virgil, are you back here? Logan calls out from the hallway. Yeah, what's up? I say, walking into the hall to meet him. It's starting to get dark, so Pat and I are going to head home, he says with a smile. We walk back into the living room and I say my goodbyes to him and Patton. Roman is still sitting on the couch, but his mind seems a million miles away. Are you alright? I ask, sitting next to him. Closer than meant to. Fine, he mumbles, but not to me. I could see that he really isn't, but should I push him? Couldn't hurt. I can see that you're not fine. You don't have to tell me, but you shouldn't lie to me or yourself. It will just make things worse, I say without thinking. It's hurting you, I say softly and put my hand on his chest. Sadness and betrayal. I place it in the same area where I could see his soul. What makes you think that? He asks. I just know, I say in return. His soul changes colors. It's only for a split second, but I caught it. Love? I whisper to myself. Love? He repeats with confusion. Is he actually... You have to be kidding me, I say in disbelief. He looks at me confused. Sorry, just gotten lost in my thoughts for a minute, I say, pulling my hand away from him. He smiles but doesn't say anything else. So, are you heading home as well? I ask, even though I didn't want him to leave yet. My mom will likely be working all night, which means I'll have to be here myself. Not exactly, he says, standing up. I'm going for a walk through the park before I head home. Want to join? I nod and stand up as well. He heads outside while I grab my keys and turn off the TV. After locking the door, we start walking towards the park. It's slowly getting darker, but there is still a group of kids playing soccer in the streets a few houses down. An older couple out on a stroll and a middle-aged woman running her dog. So what was like life in Florida? Roman asks while we continue walking. Not much different than here. The weather was always a pain, though, and I wasn't very popular at my old school. I didn't have any friends because of my reputation. I explain. I didn't care, though. I had Caleb, and that was all that I needed. Having a bunch of friends isn't as great as some people think. One friend is more than enough, until they leave, he said sadly. So that's what it is. I finally got an idea of what's been bugging him since we met. There isn't anyone else at the park, so we walk around to the playground and sit on the swings. We talk about pretty much everything while we swing back and forth. The park isn't large, but has a good-sized open clearing in the middle. It's right next to an elementary school and only separated by a chain-link fence. On one side, closest to the school, there's a gazebo with 4 picnic tables underneath. Opposite of that, on the other side of the park, is a small basketball court with 2 or more picnic tables. It's a nice park and close to my house, which is good since there aren't any bathrooms. Every time one of us brings up a topic, we talk about it until we somehow end up on another topic. We laugh at each other's stupid jokes and just enjoy each other's company. I barely even notice that it keeps getting darker and darker. When I talk to Caleb, Patton, or Logan, making conversation comes easy because I'm comfortable with them. With Roman, however, it's effortless from the start. Part of me really wants to give him a shot, considering I know he really likes me. I can't, though. Leaving Caleb behind hurt me more than I lead on. I still believe it was the best for us both, but I don't want to have to deal with that again. Not that I'm planning on doing something stupid. My plan is to finish high school here. Roman makes a joke, which makes me laugh so hard my stomach hurts. You're such a dork, I tell him with a smile. Maybe, but I got you to laugh, so I'm fine with that, he says, back smiling as well. He's sweet. Why, do you like me? I ask out of nowhere. He seems surprised by the question. At first I didn't really know. I was drawn to you. No matter what I did, you were always on my mind. That sounds weird, but it's true. Now, I have many reasons, the main being how kind and protective I know you are, he explains, smiling to himself. He's making it hard not to fall for him even more so than I think I already am. It's getting late, I say, finally looking up at the dark sky. We have been here almost for 2 hours, I say, laughing. I was going to call Caleb, but I'll just call him tomorrow. Do you want to head home? He asks, now standing in front of me. No. My face must have given away because I can see he's amused. Want to see something cool? He asks. I nod, so he warns me that it's a pretty good walk, but I tell him that I want to go anyways. He smiles and starts walking toward the elementary school. We pass by it and cross the street. We continue down the street until we reach a dead end with a canal. Where are we? I ask, looking around. The moon is almost full, so I could see, which I realize is good when I see a large hill leading down. Low Creek. It has some nice places if you take the time to look, especially at night. Trust me, he tells me as we start walking down. I trust you, I tell him. Good, 'cause you're gonna love this, he says, smiling. While walking, I notice that it's really nice down here. You can barely hear any of the sounds of the city, which is weird but refreshing. There are large trees on both sides of the path, and the crickets are chirping. The moonlight from above is beautiful to look at. We walk for another couple minutes before we start walking off the asphalt path and onto a smaller dirt one. We continue down a little more until we reach a small hill leading down. Roman walks down first, and I follow right after. This is awesome, I say, looking around. There's a large circle of gravel in the middle of the area and a stream of water right next to it. The roots of some of the trees are protruding from the grassy slope. "Right, I knew you'd like it here," he says, sitting down. I sit down next to him and close my eyes. The chilly air feels nice. I decide to use Soul Search and see Roman is in a pretty good mood. So am I until I see a flash of pink again. Didn't I give Kleb shit for the same thing? Kleb only thought he loved me, though. "Are you okay?" Roman asked. My eyes shot open and I jerk away from him. "Is something wrong?" he asked me through furrowed brows. "Sorry, you scared me," I say, sitting next to him again with a smile. "My bad, you just seemed troubled for a second there," he says, looking up at the sky. How the hell did he know that? I'm probably just reading too much into that. "This place is amazing, though," I say with a smile. "It's really late, Verge. We should head home," Roman says, standing up. I follow suit, and by the time I get home, I head straight to bed since I have school tomorrow. I'm the first of my friends to arrive at the school. While I wait for them, I get to play on my phone. "Virgil," a voice says. When I look to see, it was Ethan. "Yes," I respond. "Can I talk to you?" "Just not here," he asks, looking around. Wonder what's up. It must be important if he's finally talking to me like a human being. Sure," I say and start walking to the side of the school. Using Soul Search, I can see his soul is a mixture of orange, purple, and dark blue. He says he wants to talk to me about the black stuff I threw up. "So everyone really does know about that," I say with a heavy sigh. "Well, yeah, was in your class. I'm the one who tried to help, but I forgot that I'm not supposed to touch you," he explains, looking around. "Are you worried that someone's gonna see us?" I ask, but he nods, but doesn't say anything, so I ask why he wants to talk about the black liquid. "My older brother does that," he says. "What? Does that mean you have Soul Search too?" I ask. That's what it's called. My brother and I have had a name for it," he explains. I can't believe he has it too. As much as I'd like to talk more about this, I still don't like bullies or homophobes, I say, walking away. "Wait, I'm sorry. I'm not really like that. You have to know that," he calls out. "Of course I know that," I say, walking back over to him. "Look, you don't have to come out, but you can stop hurting other people, especially my friends. When you're done pretending to be something you're not, then you know where to find me, 5th period. Until then, I can't help you," I say before turning away from him and making my way back to the front of the school to find the guys waiting for me. The bell's going to ring soon, so Roman and I head to our first period, where there's already a few students in the classroom. We take our seats and wait for the bell to ring. At the same time, I'm using Soul Search on the entire school. I want to get better, so it's good practice. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to check out the book for yourself, the links are in the description below. If you really liked this video and you would like to see me update it next week, then I'd consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you get notified when it uploads. If you'd like to recommend a book for yourself, there is a Google form in the description below where you get to recommend books for me to read on the series. There's also links to my social medias in the description below, along with Twitter, Wattpad, TikTok, Tumblr, things like that. So I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and, like always, do your best!